Hey everybody, it's Abby with the Bead Place, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make these really cool memory wire wine glass charms or wine glass markers. So you can give these as a gift. A set of 6 is really nice. What's really cool about these is you can put different charms or different beads on them, and the purpose is so that when you're at dinner or at a party, set your wine glass or whatever glass down somewhere, you can remember what charm was on your glass and you'll know whose glass is whose. You will need some ring-sized memory wire. We are going to use memory wire cutters to cut 6 pieces of memory wire that are a loop and a half. So what that means is you've got one solid loop and then half a loop. So you can see like this. I'm using 3mm fire polish beads. They're just little oval-shaped beads. And I'm also using these really fun tiara cast charms. They have a loop like this at the top, so we can string them directly onto the wine glass charms, like this. If you're using a charm that has a loop that goes this way, we'll use a small jump ring so that it sits straight on the glass. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take a round nose pliers, and I'm going to very carefully separate my sides of the memory wire. I'm going to grab one side with the very tip. I'm going to grab one end of the tip of the memory wire with my round nose pliers and just very carefully and very securely bend it into a loop. So I'm bending this in towards the circle rather than out. And it might take a couple of bends and regrip, bend and regrip. You see how I'm just kind of bending in, regrip, bend in, regrip. And almost there. So this memory wire is tough stuff. Seems like the smaller the diameter, the harder it is to bend it inwards. But you can see how I have a closed loop facing inside. So now what I'm going to do is string 4 or 5 or 6, whatever you want, beads onto the memory wire, and then my charm, and then I'm going to do that same curl on the opposite side. So the memory wire is kind of a tough material to work with. You want to make sure you're using your memory wire cutter. You don't want to use your regular wire cutter because it will damage your cutter. So make sure you have the right tools. I think I'm going to go for 5. We'll do 5 beads on this one. Then I'm going to string my charm. Just like that. And then 5 more beads. So now our goal is to get our second loop the same size as the first loop. So what you want to do is push all your beads so that they're out of the way. They won't fall off while you're working with it. And just really grip it tight and bend it inwards. So hold it. Separate it if you can, like this with your fingers, and bend it inward. I try to hold it right here so that you can kind of brace it. Seems to work a little bit easier for me that way, but to each their own. The other thing to keep in mind is keep those beads out of the way so you don't accidentally pop a bead. And if you pop a bead, the easiest thing to do is just start over with a new piece of memory wire. Just cut your piece in half. Don't try to unbend the memory wire or anything silly like that. Don't try to cut that end off and then keep going, because you want all of your wine charms to be the same size, and we don't want one that's a little bit closer. So you can see how these are just going to dangle around. If you want to, you can fill the entire thing with beads. I like the look of just a few beads in the front Now, if we were using a charm like this, like I said, we'd use a jump ring. So I want to show you guys the proper way to open and close a jump ring so that we can close it securely and easily without anything slipping out. So what we're going to do is hold the jump ring so that the break is right here at 12 o'clock. I have one of my chain nose pliers straight up and down, one of my chain nose pliers sideways. And I'm just going to open it in that direction. You always want to make sure you're opening and closing your jump ring like this and never like this. If you pull it open this way, what's going to happen when you go to try to close it is you're not going to get it closed in that exact position. It's not going to be round or oval. It's going to kind of misshapen and go together like this, if it even goes together at all. So when you open it this way, you're using one pivot point, and you can then use that same pivot point to close it, and it'll close perfectly. So I'll show you. You're going to string your charm on, and then set your pliers up in the same way, and then you can just easily close it just like that. So once you have your jump ring closed, you always want to check from a different angle. So we've looked at it like this. We're going to then look at it like this and make sure it's closed that way too. And then we can go ahead and make more little wine glass charms. So I hope you guys enjoy making this project. The memory wire is a really, really fun option for bracelets, rings, and of course other projects like wine glass charms. You can find all the materials that we used, including the tools, the charms, memory wire, all of that on our website at beadplace.net. And you can find these in kit form as well. If you liked watching this video, please give us a thumbs up. Comment if you have any questions, or if you just want to say hey. We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, so come say hi to us over there too. And like I said, all the links are going to be in the description. Thanks, as always, for watching.